courgette miso soup. So first we're going to cut up the courgette. Okay, listen, I'm going to call it courgette because I'm from the UK. Zucchini, whatever, I've always called it that. So first we cut up this, and there's 3 of them. The idea here is that this, for me anyway, as a man, creates probably about 3 portions of soup. For me anyway, maybe a female would probably be able to maybe have 4 out of it maybe. So I am going to make this in the Ninja soup maker that I got. I actually got it for Christmas. For me, it actually makes kind of making this type of stuff much easier for me, really. So first it's cut up onions, garlic, and add those to kind of saute, really. I've used just a regular white onion. Attempt to do this without crying. So I'm just literally following the recipe that is listed on the Ninja website. They've got a load of different recipes that we can follow, which is super useful. If, like me, you have a low protein diet because of PKU, then actually this is quite low in protein and exchanges. And most of that, to be honest, comes from this, which is the white miso paste. But then I do have a higher tolerance than most, so which makes it obviously useful for me. So first things first is add the onions, and then we're going to add the garlic. So now we peel and add the garlic and throw it on the floor. Obviously, why wouldn't we do that? There is literally a 1-second rule, isn't there? 10-second rule. Oh my God. Seriously? Okay, so there is like a 20-second rule, isn't there? It is just for me, so whatever. So the reason why I bought the Ninja soup maker was because I'm a man and I'm really, really bad at making anything, especially from scratch, right? One of the issues that I was finding was that specifically I wanted to take soup to work because it's easy, it's low in calories, but more importantly, because if I go to the store or shop and buy a soup there, it's always added with extras like cream or milk. I'm not saying this recipe, but just in general. And so then I have to count it much, much higher, right? Which takes up all my protein for the day, or at least most of it. And to be honest, I'd much rather have protein for other types of foods that are more filling, right? Soup's healthy, yes, vegetables are healthy, etc. But what I don't want is to waste my exchanges on something that is pretty much going to be used up at just a lunch, really, instead of maybe spread out throughout the day. So this kind of helps me, actually. Now it takes vegetable oil. I haven't got any vegetable oil left, so I'm going to use sunflower oil, and it takes 2 tablespoons. The thing with oil is it's really, really high in calories. So if you go over, you pretty much can double or at least, increase your calorie intake by 50% just by adding too much, really. So I've thrown garlic on the floor already, and I'm going to literally tip oil everywhere as well. I do measure it out mainly because I kind of want to make sure that, again, I'm not having too many calories, especially from something that's not going to fill me up that much, really. So, boom, lid on, locked in. I'm pretty sure it made a noise before. And then saute. So 5 minutes. That will do what it needs to do, and we should be good to go. Oh my gosh, I forgot to chop them up. I do know what I'm doing, I promise. I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to restart. I'm going to chop. Ta-da! Now I'm going to press saute. Right, so that'll do that for 5 minutes, and then while that does that, I will prepare the rest of it. So it takes about 750 ml of water with a vegetable stock as well. And when that's done doing the saute program, I'll add these in as well as the courgettes, zucchini to it so it can start the main cycle. So for the vegetable stock, I just use the pre-packaged Knorr cubes because for me it's easy. I need things to be quite quick and simple. One, because I'm a man and I have no clue what I'm doing, but two, also, I get kind of a really small time window to do this sort of stuff. Work, kids, family, life, etc. Time just evaporates, doesn't it? So I kind of want it to be healthy. Ooh, it's done. But as simple as possible as well, really. And so for me, that kind of works. So I don't need to worry about cutting these up really fine and small, mainly because this is going to kind of go through a program of chopping it up at the end anyway, because you're able to select smooth, chunky, etc. as a soup. Add these in. Now in total, this probably takes about 15 minutes. So what I do is I freeze this once it's cooked and use it for work. Really ideal because then it's kind of instant in some respects and it's great, and I can prepare it over the weekend, which is great. And finally, water. So there we go. Gosh, that's quite heavy. We have garlic, oil, courgettes. We'll add the miso paste, or however you pronounce it, later on once it's cooked. The vegetable stock's in there, so I'm going to move this bad boy forward. I'm going to plonk this on there. Then I am literally going to select the smooth option, which is there. And then we just wait. So I did say, didn't I, that it takes 15 minutes. That's a lie. It actually takes 30. 30 minutes of that doing it for me. That will cook, that will mix, and I don't really have to do much. So I can go and do whatever I want to do now. So I do use the Ninja Test Kitchen site, which for the EU is ninjatestkitchen.eu, and then go to the recipe section. And it's here actually where I found the courgette recipe, and actually it's really, really good, right? Because it gives you the prep time, it gives you the total minutes it takes, which is actually wrong because it takes 30 minutes. But as you then progress down, it's step by step. Hey, listen, I am not good at this sort of stuff. This is not my strength. It is for other people who live in this household, but for me, it's not the case. So I need simple step-by-step guides to follow, and I also just need the time just to learn it, do it. I've had this quite a few times. It is lovely. Luckily though, it's not loud forever. It does only do it for a very short period of time just to get things spinning and churning around. So thankfully, it's not so loud. So now it's done, thankfully. Look at that as a colour. Isn't that awesome? However, fully understand that if I was a child and I saw that, I would just think snot drink or bogey drink. But I am going to get my children to try it. That's going to be interesting. But actually, as an adult, we can look at that, can't we? And we can say, gosh, that looks healthy. And it does taste nice. So now I will look to add miso paste there. And the recipe says take 1 tablespoon. I've realised actually that I don't have enough. Isn't that typical? But we will do what we can with what we've got. There's literally nothing in there. See, preparation is key, isn't it? Yeah, I am organised. I am prepared. Some would argue that that is not the case. Let's see how much we can get. That's kind of what it looks like. Baby food. It's actually quite high in protein, so if you're someone who doesn't have the condition that I've got, that's probably a good thing. If you are someone who's got the condition that I've got, that's potentially a problem. However, I don't know if you can see this. It does state that it's got 12 grams of protein per 100, which is actually quite significant, but I'm not going to use the whole jar, am I? I'm actually using, I don't know, maybe 10 grams. Stirry, stirry, stirry. And then we are kind of done. And now, Tupperware boxes to freeze. And I probably am going to get my kids to try it tomorrow. So I typically try to have probably about 400 or 500 ml per portion. Courgette miso soup, done.